Okay, new setup who this. Instead of using this with like one thing missing and putting it across my mouth like the Falling of Stars. Not that sounds horrible. Like it was a meme. Um, okay, so forget that. My throat hurts so bad. It's not even funny. Like I thought that I would get better. Oh, I thought that I usually get better with like no matter what I have, I get better within like 2 days. But I think it's because I was talking a lot. I met this girl today, so I had a shift at the museum at 12. 12:30, yeah. So I woke up, I went to that. Did I do anything else? I think I woke up late, like I needed the sleep. Um, and then I I went to the museum. I really like working there. It's so like chill. Like I don't feel I can do stuff too. It's not like I have to like I feel if I stand around drawing at a waitressing gig, they always like it's not allowed because it's the whole purpose is to yell at you. People are rougher in that industry, right? And that made me think today when like later on in the day I was like walking along Orchard Road and I was like, damn, I feel like the jobs that I pick or apply for really reflect like your self-esteem. Because why was I working or like exclusively only applying to waitressing jobs because I thought that was the only fast thing I could get? Like, that's so bad. So here are some sketches that I did. I still want to fill that in. Tattoos that I think would be cool. More fish. I really am making my dream come true. Like the dream that I had. This one's so there's loads of like books for kids to read in the museum, and I've been just like drawing from them. And then that says the gig economy and trying to escape it, a visual journey. And then I was gonna draw like a comic, but I didn't have enough time. I got a lot of time tomorrow though. I'm working from 10:30 to 5. And then after my shift at the museum, I met up with this girl. So during summer school in Greece, my professor's daughter was told me that my professor told me that his daughter is coming to Singapore on exchange and asked if I would help give her some advice. And I said, yeah, of course. And so we've been talking for like a year and we've never met. And then yesterday I saw her at the fair and I could just wave at her. That was so strange that that was the way I saw her. But then today we met and okay, I need to stop hugging people when I'm awkward. I went like this, like she was sitting down and I waved at her and she didn't wave back and I thought maybe she didn't recognize me. And I think that was the case because when I said hi, she was like, oh my god, hi. And then I reached out an arm to hug her and she was like, at least 2 beats she waited and I was like, oh my god, she doesn't want to, but I can't like if I took it back it would look so and then we did like an awkward one arm hug and I really have to stop hugging people when I meet them because the same thing happened with this girl I met on Hinge. We went on like a little cute date and I went, oh my god, hi. She not like people don't like it's fine, but like I need to make it so that that's not my automatic reaction. Like let's practice right now. Oh my god, hi, how are you? Like keep your arms to yourself. It's not that hard. It's literally not that hard. Okay, and be conscious about it because it's my automatic response to do that. Like even when I was in Jordan, there was this really nice guy in the hostel I was at, And in their culture, they do not, men and women do not even touch. So I was like, oh my god, are you a hugging person? That was so weird. Oh, okay. Mm, mm. I had a little list of um this sentence appeared in my head, something of that nature. The truth will make you go insane. So when I was talking to this girl, we went to Orchard. We're walking along the road, went to Orchard Towers. We got some Thai food, but she was a vegetarian, and she only told me when we were on the lift there. So um, we bought some. I bought some noodles. The portion was really big. I still have half of it in the fridge. It wasn't that good. And then she bought a salad, and then we sat outside and we ate it. And I really missed that. Like it was like kind of how I did everything in Europe, like just so free and easy, sit outside, whatever. But here it's like I prioritize convenience above all because I'm tired, because I have to work, and like it doesn't feel good, you know? Like, for example, I would always take the escalator and or the lift or whatever AC option because I don't want to feel like I'm suffering or working hard here. But when I'm traveling, yeah, it's probably that, right? Because now I have to work, and when I'm traveling, I don't really have any labor to do, so I can like chill out and have a picnic and not be like this is so hot. Yeah, because um, and then when I was hanging out with her, I asked her. She asked. We were talking about. I asked her a lot of questions about the PhD she was doing in Singapore. If my voice sounds like rough as fuck, it's because of the sore throat. And I feel like my eyes are always like I'm so tired in these videos. Um, I I asked her a lot of questions about the PhD she's doing. Um, and then she asked me, "What do you want to do?" And it just threw me for a second, because I think of all the things that I'm going to do, but how is that different from what I wanted to do? Hmm. Because remember what I said in yesterday's video about like literally every single thing you could possibly think and want, it has been thought of here. And okay, agreed, it's not as like shiny when it's not, when it's home or when it's Singapore, because I just feel like it's a okay, it's not like I wouldn't pick it over anything. But now that we're here, um, what's the point I was trying to make? Yeah, like there is the way for you to do every single thing that is truthful and the things that you think and want already. So why do you think that your life can only start with all its interest once you leave? I already like had that realization, and I'm like it takes time because all I wanted to do, okay, there's two. On one hand, I can accept that I have to stay until I finish my degree and do all the things that I wanted to do. But on the other hand, all I wanted to do was leave. So when someone asks, what do you want to do? Like, do you see my dilemma? But then once I left, 21, 22, I was like, now what? And then I came back and I was like, I want to leave. So you need to fill in the blanks for that now what here. And then when you go, you'll be all happy. Because living here, I'm like really fucking happy. Like on the LRT and on the way back, I'm like skipping. Because I love that train ride back home. We like weave through all these like tall buildings and it feels like I'm in like Gotham City. And I really want to draw a comic about it. But it's just such a cool place to live, like, and I feel so like grown up, and I have like our own room and no one to yell at me, and like the exact lighting that I want, and everything on the walls that I want. And when I wake up and go to work, I can leave the bed and made, and I can leave my dirty clothes on the floor. And this has been here for like 2 days. I never leave open stuff because I do not like insects, but like I need to wash this. Um, I don't know what. I'm gonna maybe cut it and then I could use it as like my paint water jar. Okay. Um, Tomorrow I have another shift at the museum, and then after that, I had a thought too. There are two things that I shouldn't depend on and wait for an answer, and that is capitalism and men, because like in this phase of life, in this period where I'm sort of like putting out so many feelers and trying to get a job, it's so annoying being let down by both. You know what I mean? Because neither will be like on your side. This guy is annoying me by texting me. Like, I found a mirror in carousel. I really hope I can pick it up. Please answer. But yeah, okay. So about what I want to do. There's so much that I want to do. Off the top of my head, I want to be a writer. I want to, but then like it doesn't like stimulate me so much anymore. Like I don't feel excited about writing anymore. It's just something that I feel like I have to do, which is such a shame. 'Cause at first I thought it was like a really intense writer's block, and there's a part of me that's hoping that it is, but like when I feel obligated to do something, I won't do it. Maybe that's the key, is just to let go of this idea of what you want to do and just do things that you think of doing. So I'm really into learning languages. I'm really into like linguistics. I'm really into philosophy. I read a lot about stuff like that. What else am I into? I really like reading about like research and journalism articles. Um, I like reading more than anything. I was watching this like Q&A. I followed this like artist on YouTube. She like makes little animated videos, and she did a Q&A based on a short film she did on her own, and it was like she was just talking about like, yes, this is what I want to do because this is the thing that I enjoy the most, even if it's tiring. And I was like, what is the thing that I enjoy the most, like the most? So much. I cannot think of one. Like my mind's blank. There's a part of me that doesn't want to commit to. But let's again, don't fall into this trap. Why do you have to commit? Because all of your interests, like, yeah, you're going in circles about this. All of your interests definitely link to one another. So I did like an interest map. Interest mapping. And there's definitely like, there's like makeup, there's costuming, there's photography, there's teaching. I like a ballet, I like film, I like writing, I like design, I like graphic design, I like research, I like literature, I like Shakespeare a lot, I like journalism, I like theater production, I like set design, I like zine publishing, I like editing stuff. Why do you have to pick? All of it can come together, you know? I just have to find a way. And slowly but surely. You know what would help if I could bring this laptop to work and really work on some stuff too, because this, it doesn't work unless it's plugged in. It's so old, and like it doesn't work unless it's plugged in, and like there's no socket at work. And I don't know why, but my hotspot doesn't work either on my phone. And my other notebook, the keyboard doesn't work. And what the fuck? Also, when I brought the MacBook that this creepy old white guy that I told you about that I used to live with, um, he gave it to me, and I brought it the other day to Simlim Square to sell, and he couldn't turn it on because I did just the other day. So why is this MacBook cursing me this way? I'll sell it for parts of anything, but yeah. I don't know what, like, there's no, this is just like my day-to-day life, you know? I'm not gonna say anything like very interesting in this one because I don't want to talk about things that I want to do. I don't know why. I feel like my brain's like, you're giving it away. But I hope there's some way I can find to document like all my interests. Oh, this. And find a way to make it who I am, you know? Because I find like the more I try really hard and desperately to make a career out of something, the more inauthentic it feels. Because I was really like, my first year at LaSalle, I was like, we gotta hurry up, we gotta find something, we gotta do, and it felt really like fake, and I got really burnt out and I had to leave. I don't know if that's what being burnt out is, but I'm in this state of perpetual I don't give a fuckness. Um, but the key, as I've learned here, now that I have a place to relax and don't have to like roam the streets like a dog because I don't have a place to rest. The key is to relax and just chill the fuck out and like do what you enjoy, and slowly, like, obviously as you do the things you enjoy, it'll be part of your life, and that is what makes it authentic. And when you're not like rushing it or forcing it. I'm shedding so much, there's hair everywhere. Like, this girl that I met gave me a bit of chocolate, and I tried to eat it, and there was like a hair in my mouth. It made me, oh, just the emotion makes me like, just the memory of it makes me so disgusted. Mm, I just suddenly got the feeling that I should be watching more anime. I watched Yuri on Ice. It's really good. Maybe I will. I watched this Japanese film that this guy, my team, like the full-time office people, was really friendly. He um he recommended me the two films. One is called Mommy, and the other one was called Monster. And I watched Monster because it sounded more interesting than Mommy. The Mommy one was a bit whatever. The Monster one was really good. And they're so cute. They're like a friend. I'm looking it up so I can read it to you. Monster is a 2023 Japanese coming-of-age psychological drama mystery thriller film directed by Hirokazu Koreeda from a screenplay written by Yuji Sakamoto. It's like backwards, so they show one perspective and then the next, and it's like, oh, so that's why that happened. I like that style. In Marina Bay, I gotta show you this. Ooh! You know what I want? You know what I really want? I think I said it yesterday. I saw a poster. There's a In the Mood for Love concert in October, and I want this poster. Oh my god, if they give up like flyers, give it to me. I wonder if I can get tickets though. Like, with a discount because I work here now. Let's see how much it is. The cheapest tickets are 57.80. Mm, I'm gonna sleep after this. So I don't like working with people. I feel like the faster I accept it, the better my life would be. I'm so happy right now because I get to chill here and have boundaries and I don't have to work in an office or talk to people. I would hate that. So maybe that's why I'm so drawn to like gig work. Do you guys know about this in Singapore? It's so fucked up. There's like people who come over from other countries to work here and they're like chilling in the back of lorries like this on the way to work. And it's like 5 a.m. and it's like 12 of them here and it looks so like animalistic. And also they always like they work shifts maybe and they in between the shifts they don't get like proper spaces to rest because they live really far away in dorms and they have to work later, so they just sleep in the void deck, like just like on the floor where like roaches and rats are. They're just like sleeping there, and there's like I don't maybe like how there's people walking about. How do you feel safe enough to just like be passed out with like your tummy showing, sir? But it's not like their fault, you know, because like it's so. This is what capitalism does. Not to blame everything on capitalism. Also, we have really evil brains, I feel like to think about saving every single penny and how to like maximize your profit, that a part of that is to deprive as much comfort as possible from the people who work for you, aka the class that's there for you to be exploited. And the reason why there are so many people who move to Singapore is because like they facilitate this underclass to be exploited, right? Like think about it. Singapore's no tax means that, okay, I'm not like an economist, but this is my experience from working with these people in shitty jobs and talking to them. There's two kinds of people who move to Singapore. There are people from countries that are poorer than us, and they are told that Singapore's a rich country and you can earn a lot of money here doing stuff like the same things as back home. So for a construction job in India cons- versus a construction job in Singapore, you could get paid in Singapore like obviously much more, right? And the second type of people are people who are from countries that are richer than us, who come to get tax breaks or because their companies are um, moving in here. The first group of people are so vulnerable to any sort of exploitation because number one, they have no like negotiating power. I feel like they work in jobs like there's this thing called an S pass, and it's I think let's look it up. In to my knowledge, it's I've met people from Malaysia and the Philippines with it, but I feel like anyone can get it, and it's basically like mid-skilled foreign employees. So there's levels to this shit. They don't have a lot of like negotiating power maybe. Like the girls that I was working with at the pub, I could say, please, can I get 14 an hour? And they were getting paid 10 an hour and going to school and cleaning condos to earn enough money for rent and transport and spending $10 on transport a day. And they don't get the concession pass that I do. And then the people who move here obviously have a bit of money and the currency they have translates like a lot better here. So they have more spending power, more negotiating power because they get like contracts and packages and their accommodation is settled. They don't have to live in a tiny room that's shared with two people. And also they get tax breaks. So that's something really interesting to think about, right? Because we're essentially exporting two different classes of people. One is to do all the jobs that we don't want to do so that we can underpay them and maximize the profit from them. Because if you hired a Singaporean for the same job, you would have to pay them a bit more, right? And also this thing about like quotas. There's a quota for foreign workers. And I guess that's to like make sure there's job opportunities for Singaporeans, I think. Quota. No criticism of that. I need all the jobs that I can find. And then on the other hand, what was I saying about? What did I just say? Who? About what? Oh, no. I don't know. Um, Basically, everyone I talk to from either class of people, they their position in society and how they interact, according to my perspective, in relation to my position in society, like I don't know how useful is globalization because I was only taught that like trade brings Singapore money, and when we have money, we're all happy. But I don't feel that happy with these people here because number one, there's this whole culture of like expats, and there is definitely like a segregation in living conditions, in working conditions, in negotiating power, in spending power. Ask any Singaporean this is, or any like person from Southeast Asia. This whole culture of expatitioning is a poison. And then on the other hand, there's also inequality when I see like foreign workers sleeping on the fucking floor or like the food they get catered to them is absolute shit. And they also live in like far off places in bunks and dorms, and we're kind of like Dubai in that way, right? Like if you want to move to Dubai with a lot of money, go ahead, welcome, no tax. if you want to move to Dubai to earn money as like a not rich person, essentially in a way that's like offering your labor in exchange for money, not offering your labor in exchange for capital. Wait, did I mean to say capital? What I mean to say is like, on one hand, you have this underclass of people who are offering their labor in exchange for money, and then on the other hand, you have these people who are exchanging. I don't know if I can use the word labor, but in exchange for a benefit. Yeah, it's because you could work the same job back home and earn like around the same, or maybe like for example, they move to Dubai because it's more money because they get tax breaks and benefits and more spending power and things like that. I don't know what the point is. Like, wow, what an amazing observation. Inequality exists. But yes, both is poison because it just like sort of herds people into groups. Because, like, my perspective when I travel and I see the types of jobs that define culture in different countries. Like in Australia, people get paid a lot to do trade jobs and to work in construction. These are really high paid jobs because of the risk that it involves with your body and stuff. And people who move there want to do it, but they can't because Australians get the job and they earn a lot of money and they build a house somewhere and they live. But also, Australians feel like there's too many immigrants ruining their quality of life. I don't know about that, but what I know is that in different, like, if we, I don't want to say shit about stuff that I don't understand completely, but like, if we became a bit more self-sufficient. Okay, this is, I don't know why I'm insecure about this, because these are thoughts that I have, but it's fine. Like, I don't have to be like, I don't have to have read every single like academic article and manifesto and understand the concepts of communism and socialism and everything entirely to have opinions. And opinions change. So I'm just expressing everything that I think, and that's fine. So what was I saying? Yeah, wouldn't it be like for example, the power industry in Australia, they have so much of fucking like coal and they really like utilize it, right? Like it's obviously it's really bad for the environment and also like the indigenous people who live there because they're just like digging shit up. Mining jobs also are paid very well. So everybody, when I was on a working holiday visa, everybody wanted a mining job. Is that called like nationalization? When you like make everything a part of, let's get lit, let's get educated. I'm not afraid of looking dumb, okay? I feel like in an ideal world, I want to like know everything, but then that will make me. That is dishonesty and authenticity. It's a process where government takes over private businesses or property to make them public. Okay, I've thoughts about this too. Like, on one hand, like, there needs to be balance, right? Like, on one hand, things can be managed so that there is no job that is deemed as um, easily exploitable, that makes you easily exploitable, that doesn't create like a whole other class of people that are classified differently. But on the other hand, I feel like the way Singapore is, it's so like successfully confusing because we have a union and it's owned by the government. We have like power and utilities. I think it's nationalized, right? But I think maybe it's like all of the stuff that concerns us is kept within like what is it called? Subsidiary, like government owned. Did they teach us this in social studies? Did I just not pay attention? I hated social studies. I fucking hated that class. I had this teacher from I don't know. It's not relevant. I don't know why I said that, but she was just so like dull. Like she was so meek and like there's three branches of the government. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Um, I like don't give a fuck, but I feel like I want to know, but I don't want to learn it. Why? I don't know. It's just I want to know by looking it up when I need the answer. You know, I don't want to like let's look it up when we need the answer then right now. State capitalism. Singapore is free market, pro business, open economy. Government linked companies. Key sectors like banking, aviation, telecoms, media, transit. Partially owned or fully owned by state holding companies like Temasek Holdings and GIC. Companies like Singapore Airlines, Singtel, and DBS Bank operate as profit driven commercial entities on the open market rather than traditional inefficient state monopolies. Okay, that makes sense. Like it's public housing. 80% of Singapore's government built flats where you buy a long term lease on a free market basis. Is it free market? The government owns 90% of the land, leasing it out to private developers and individuals for specific terms. I think it's because like I like the fact that it's I like the fact that things are like socially engineered to ensure like maximum efficiency. But I also don't like the fact that it allows like for example the government owned everything. It's not they don't own everything. There is still like private ownership of land, of stuff that we don't even see, like offshore accounts and stuff like that. And who knows how, why am I going so deep into this? Who knows how much they contribute to our economy? You know? I don't know what this video is. Okay, why it's not communism? Under communism, private property is abolished, class structure is eliminated, and the state controls all means of production and distribution. So that would mean that private property that, oh, it's not communism because we can buy and sell, citizens and foreign investors can buy and sell and own private property, businesses, and equities. Wealth accumulation. Singapore is one of the highest concentrations of millionaires and billionaires in the world, driven by ultra low corporate and personal tax rates. Free trade. It's a global hub for free trade, foreign direct investment, and multinational corporate headquarters. See, if you sat 16-year-old me down and said, learn this for an exam, I'm not fucking doing it. You know what I mean? I'm doing this because I want to know now why it's not traditional socialism. Under traditional socialism, the means of production are owned and managed collectively by the workers and the public, usually with high taxes funding welfare state guarantees. Singapore does not have a traditional European-style welfare state financed by high taxes. Welfare state. Self-reliance or CPF. Social safety nets are structured around forced personal savings rather than wealth redistribution. So it forces workers to save a portion of their income to individual accounts to fund their own retirement, healthcare, and housing, not a pooled government pension. Okay. Pro-business regulations, strong enforcement of contracts, intellectual property rights, and minimal red tape make it the exact opposite of a central command state. I feel like we were communists at some point. Or like, didn't Lee Kuan Yew like torture some communists? Okay, or I don't know if that's true, don't come for me. Nobody's watching these videos, like. The real model, state capitalism with heavy intervention. Hybrid pragmatic model. You know what? Everyone always says that some points are pragmatic, but actually I feel like we're just stubborn. Because, like, intense pragmatism is like doing the most practical thing, but sometimes the most practical thing is like the most fucking idiotic thing. You know what I mean? It's like we're so Japanese in the way that we do dumb shit because we're told to. Like, act mentally like fucking thick. Like when someone talks to you about an emotional topic, I feel like I just got like war flashbacks too. This American girl I met in Palestine when I was like literally sobbing my eyes out. She just like sat there, did not ask me if I was okay, which I thought was so like psychotic. Like, isn't that weird? If someone's like sobbing their eyes out next to me, I'm gonna be like, girl, what's going on? It's just so like insane. She still talks to me and I still talk to her because like I don't know, why do I talk to her? Because we're both friends with this one other girl that I like. But you know what, I should stop talking to her because I really don't fucking like her. Okay, am I being loud? I feel like I'm being loud. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, it's okay. I did bring this up. Look at this. I stole this from Turkish Airlines. And I tried to use it to listen to music with this. Because this is the old one. And it goes in here. And I plug this into my phone. But it doesn't work. It keeps like pausing every few seconds. The music. Okay. Um, okay, so we have features that are socialist, state-led features or capitalist and capitalist free market features. Like state ownership, they hold stakes in major companies. Wow, it's like they own land and housing, and they mandate CPF contributions, but it's also capitalist in that market competition. State-backed firms must compete on the open market for profit without state bailouts. Oh, HDB flats are bought and sold on an open, competitive secondary market. Is that true? I don't know enough about that to disagree. No capital gains tax, low personal income tax, corporate tax at 17. In short, Singapore uses capitalist free markets to generate wealth and targeted state intervention to maintain social stability and infrastructure, rejecting strict ideological labels like communism or socialism in favor of pragmatism. In theory, perfect. But in practice, like there's little issues that fall through the gaps and that I see because it's my lived experience, okay? Like working in minimum wage jobs and whether that's enough to sustain someone. I talk to a lot of people who have like non-traditional homes too, like single moms, and they can't find like jobs that sustain them and pay them to live like a respectable life. Like obviously it like commensurates with your education experience, but like how can you get higher education when like it's just so like because it's so frustrating because if I say it sounds like I'm going in circles, you know? It's like okay, if you're a single mom with a kid and you have no education, why don't you get educated? But the reality of it is it's so fucking difficult to raise a child and earn enough money for the child and rent and emotionally, and then to how is she gonna go to university? How is she gonna get the money for the application fee? How are you gonna juggle job, taking your child and school, and then graduating? Like in theory, if you really like busted your ass, you could do it. But like when I look at it with like empathy, it's just so hard. Or like what other issues have I seen? Just like how badly people are treated, like the work culture. When I was in the pub, I asked like how do these people how they here do they not have jobs? They're like, yeah, they're expats. They can come in anytime they want, but Singaporeans no. So if I want to watch a FIFA game, if okay, I don't know how to answer this question. If me and some like 40-year-old, okay, let's say I'm like 45 years old right now, and I'm working in like a fancy insurance company or banking company, and I'm working with this 45-year-old white guy from London, and we're both the same age, we both have the exact same experience. Let's say we both have a college degree, a bachelor's degree, and let's say that we both have 20 years of experience working in the same field. If I want to take the day off, or if I want to come into the office at like 12 because I'm tired, versus if that guy wants to come in at 12 because he was up watching the World Cup, would I be able to do that? I think it depends on the company's culture. But like deep down, I know that it's gonna like with knowing like in the context of the cultures that I have worked in, I feel like that would be a hell no. There is no conclusion to this video. I'm just thinking out loud about a lot of things. Um, my throat really hurts though, and I feel like I know how to feel. Like whenever I do these videos and I just talk a bunch of shit, and then I go out when I need to pee or fill my water myself, I'm like low-key so embarrassed. Like what if everyone can hear? What if everyone can hear me say, "I don't give a shit." I don't give a shit. What else to talk about? Oh, there's another screening that we're doing so soon. Wow, it's 2:38 a.m. I really should sleep. There's another screening we're doing. I messaged this girl because I'm trying to find a movie, but I feel like I shouldn't do it alone because that's really weird. Because why am I doing it alone? I'm gonna find another film. Um, I've been seeing a lot about like the protests in India, and there was a hunger strike because of like the education system really like letting people down with like paper leaks and stuff, and all of the demands were met. I think the education minister resigned, and every single video I've seen of the protest is so like funny. But I feel like a movie from India about something like that would be really cool for the next film screening. Or Motorcycle Diaries is always a good movie. Oh, I'm so tired. Okay, I'm gonna sleep. Bye.